morning, everyone. I'm Juliana Fernandez. Thank you for joining me for the Adult Strength and Conditioning class this morning. Let's get started. We're going to start out with a dynamic stretching, get the heart rate moving this early in the morning. So here we go. We're going to start with one knee to chest, and we're going to come up onto the toes of the opposite leg. And just alternate, pulling the knee to chest. If you have any issues with your knee, you can always hold on behind your knee, behind the thigh, and pull from the thigh up. And we're just going to alternate here. Stretch out the hips. Try to keep that belly button in. Keep a strong core as you're stretching. A couple more. Good. All right, now we're going to do some hip openers. We're going to bring the knee and the foot towards your body and switch. Same idea. Keep your core nice and strong as you alternate, opening up each hip. Good. We'll do a few more here on each side. Nice. Okay, now we're going to do some hamstrings. So I'll show you from the side here. We're going to take our opposite hand, and we're going to bring our toes of the opposite foot toward that hand, and switch. So the idea is to bring the foot up towards your hand, not reach your hand down toward your foot, okay? So if you can't quite get too close, that's fine, just as long as you feel a stretch in the back of your hamstring. Nice. A couple more. All right, and we're going to do one more for the hamstrings. We're going to keep our back nice and straight. We're going to keep our leg straight that's on the ground. Stand on one foot and reach down toward the floor as far as you can until you feel a good stretch in the hamstring. Come on back up and switch. And just go slow and controlled with this one. Go at your own pace. No need to rush this one because you really want to make sure that your back stays nice and flat and you're just hinging from your hips. Good. And we'll do a few more on each side. All right, the next one we're going to do is for the quads, for the front of the thighs. So I'll stay facing this way, and we're going to bring a heel towards your bottom. See if you can grab onto your ankle and pull that ankle towards your bottom. And if you can't quite reach, that's okay. Hands behind, and just try to bring your heel, kind of kick it towards your hand. The goal is to try to keep your thighs in line with each other and feel a stretch in front of your thigh. Feel it a little bit deeper, you can bring your opposite hand up toward the ceiling to ensure you're standing up nice and straight. Nice. Do a couple more on each side here. All right. Next thing we're going to do is for the front of the hips. So we're going to do a lunge step. We'll take a big step forward. And as you bend both knees, we're trying to get a stretch in front of your back hip. The goal is not to go really deep into your lunge. You just want to feel that stretch in front of the hip. Push on back and switch. Feel that stretch in front of your hip. Good. A couple more on each side. Okay, now the next one, we're going to keep that same lunge in mind. We're going to step forward into our lunge. We're going to reach our opposite hand down If you can, to the floor. If not, you can reach it to the knee, and you're gonna twist your body so that you can get a little bit of a spinal twist with the lunge. And we'll switch. Step forward, opposite hand, down to the floor if you can, or up to the knee if you can't, and twist. Step back, and switch. Reach down, twist. Good. Reach down, twist. Couple more. Lunge, reach down and twist. Step. Twist. One more. Great. Okay, last one. We're gonna take a big, wide stance here. We're gonna squat down just slightly, and we're gonna lean over to one side. Feel that stretch in the inside of your thigh. Switch over to the other side. Feel a good stretch in the inside of the thigh. Hold it for a few seconds and just go back and forth here. So you can feel a good stretch in those adductors, is the muscle we call that. Very nice, back and forth. Don't worry too much about which way your toes are pointing with this one. We'll pay more attention to that later when we're doing a little more strengthening. Very good. All right, so the next part here, we're gonna grab our band. If you have a looped band, great. If you've got a looped band like this, wonderful. If you've got a straight band, go ahead and use it, and you're just gonna tie it right up above your knees, okay? I'm gonna use my loop band here and step on in and bring it just above my knees. Now I'm gonna keep my foam roll here nearby, just for balance. So if you got a foam roll, great. If you got a chair nearby, a wall, something like that you can just hold on to for balance if you need it. All right, so we're gonna start off with some squats. We're gonna bring the feet a little wider than hip width apart from each other, making sure that we are pushing outwards against that resistance. So make sure there's enough resistance in your band for that. What I want you to do is you are going to push your bottom back as if you're sitting in a chair. Keep those knees apart, pushing out against the band. Squeeze your bottom and come back up. Push your bottom back and squeeze back up. Good. And we're going to do a few squats here, up and down. So a couple of things I want you to think about when you're doing this is as you squat and you get to the very depth of your squat, if you look down, you should be able to see your toes, meaning your knees should not be coming out in front of your toes. Your bottom should come back and your knees should stay behind the toes. Squeeze, squat, squeeze. Very good. Push back. Make sure you're holding those belly buttons in towards your spine so you have a nice strong core as you're doing these squats. Good. Keep going, you're doing great. Bottom back, squeeze those glutes on your way up. Bottom back and squeeze. Good. All right, we're gonna hold this last one down in our squat. Hold, hold, hold. Couple of things to check for. Make sure those belly buttons are in. Make sure your bottom is back. If you look down, you should be able to see your toes. Make sure you've got that push outwards against the band. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Good. All right, we're gonna keep that band on. We're gonna step out a little wider with the feet now. Make sure the toes are pointing straight forward. We've got a little wider than hip width here. Maybe a step wider than hip width. We're gonna squat down to the center, and then we're gonna lean over to the right. So I'm bending my right knee. I'm lined up with the side of my right foot, side of my right knee, my right hip, and my right shoulder. I'm leaning my body weight over this way. Hold, hold, hold. Keep your head the same height and switch on over to the other side. So now I've got my left shoulder, my left hip, my left knee, and the side of my left foot all lined up together. Use that foam roller, chair, or wall you've got nearby if you need to. Keep the head the same height and hold. Make sure you're keeping your weight back in the heel and you're pushing outward against that band. Make sure those knees aren't coming together, letting the band win. Keep your head the same height as you switch on over to the other side. Line up that hole. If you're doing the same side as me, left side, weight in the heel, hold the belly buttons in. Good, we're gonna do a couple more each direction. Keep the head the same height as you switch. Weight in the heel. Push out against that band, and belly button in. Switch on over to the left. Very good. Great, we'll come back to center and up. All right, shake it off a little bit. Okay, so the next thing we are gonna do is we're gonna come back into that original position of the squat where the feet are just slightly wider than hip width. We're gonna come down into our squat and we're gonna start with the left leg first. So we're gonna keep the right leg totally still and we're gonna move this left leg, rotating the left knee out and bringing it back to center. Left knee comes out and back to center. So, sorry, the background, my pants are kind of blending in with the background here, but we're rotating the knee out, trying to keep this left foot as still as possible. The tendency is to kind of roll out on the foot. You want to keep that foot as flat as you can. All right, so left knee out, and it's not a big motion, you'll find. The right knee stays totally still as you're pushing out, rotating out with the left knee. Good, make sure you keep the weight in the heels. You're holding that squat. If you want to make it a little more challenging, come a little deeper into your squat. But really make sure you're keeping the weight in your heels. Your knees should not be out in front, covering up your toes. Good, we got about 10 more seconds on this left leg, and then we'll switch to the right. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Should have felt that in the glutes. Okay, shake it a little bit. And now we're going to switch to the right leg. So let's come back down into our squat. Make sure we're lined up right. Weight in the heels. If I look down, I can see both sets of toes. We're going to keep this left leg totally still now and rotate the right knee out and back to center. Rotate out and back to center. And if you're like me, you might find it a little easier on one side versus the other side. That can be due to quite a few different things. Maybe some strength changes, maybe some mobility changes or flexibility differences. Want to make it a little more challenging, sit back a little deeper into that squat and rotate. Good, think about that foot that's on your moving leg. Try to keep that foot as flat as you can on the floor. Good, keep the weight back in the heels. Great job, everyone. We got 10 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. Very nice. Okay, shake them off. Okay, now we're going to use this foam roll or the chair for balance here. So I am going to have you do a little, let's start with it here. It's going to be on your left side, and the first set we're going to be standing on our right foot. So we have a little counterbalance with the chair, wall, foam roll, whatever you're using for balance. We're going to do a little mini squat, and then we're going to pick the left foot up off of the ground. All right, so we're balancing on the right leg. Now we're going to move this left leg back and diagonal, pulling against that band, and then bring it back to center. Move it back and diagonal and back to center. Nice. So we're balancing on that right foot. In terms of where you should feel work, you'll probably feel it more in this right leg, on the standing leg, because it's having to do a whole lot of work keeping you up. Make sure as you're moving this left leg that your right knee is not following the band at all. You don't want to twist and let that right knee collapse inward at all. Really think of pushing the right knee outward against the band as you move. Utilize the chair, the foam roll, the couch, the wall, whatever you're using for balance. Utilize it as much as you need. Really press that weight in the heel. You should feel that glute of your standing leg. Working with this one. Nice job. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And bring it on down. Shake it off a little bit. We're going to switch sides with the foam roller here. Okay, now same thing. We're going to do a little mini squat down, so about a quarter of the way down. I'm going to pick my right foot up off of the ground, so I'm standing just on the left foot. And now rotate this right knee back and diagonal behind you as you keep this left leg totally still. The weight stays in your left heel. And try to keep those belly buttons in as you keep yourself balanced. Let's see if I move this, if you can see me any better. Sorry, my pants are just blending right in with the background here. Going back and diagonal with that knee. Oh, not sure if that's any better. All right, I'll stick with this way. You got about 10 seconds left. Keep the weight in the heel, belly buttons in. Nice strong core. Very good. 2, 1. Great. Okay. Shake it off. Okay, our next part here is we're going to come down to lying on our backs. Keep the band here above the knees. We'll lie on your back. Here. Okay. So, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We got our band here. So feet are about hip width apart from each other. So there's some resistance outwards from the knees against the band. I've got my hands just down right next to my sides. I am going to hold my belly button in, squeeze my glutes, and lift up. And tap, and lift. And now what you're thinking of with the bridge here is the movement is coming from your glutes. Squeeze those glutes and lift those hips up. You can see my toes are off of the ground. I'm really pushing down into my heels, and that'll help to strictly activate the glutes and keep you from cramping in the hamstrings. Sometimes that happens in this position. Squeeze, control down. Squeeze, control. Make sure your hands are nice and soft down on the mat. You're not pushing really hard into the mat. Keep those shoulders, hands, and arms relaxed. Good, we're gonna hold this next one up. Keep holding, squeeze those glutes together, and we're gonna try marching. Pick one foot up off of the ground, alternate. As you lift the left leg, make sure you're really digging that right heel into the floor. And vice versa, as you lift that right leg up, really dig that left heel into the floor. If someone's watching you from basically the hips up, you should not be moving at all. Try to keep the trunk really still. Very good, we're gonna hold it up if we can. See if you can hold that right leg up, and then we're gonna drop the bottom down and push up. Do a few single leg bridges here. Squeeze the glute, push into that heel. Squeeze and lift. Very nice, couple more. If you're feeling any pain at all, remember you can always revert back to the regular bridge. Let's bring the other leg down, opposite leg up, and switch. Squeeze and lift. Nice, squeeze and lift. Good, couple more. 2 and 1. Very nice. Okay, let's come on up. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the band down. We're going to keep it on, but we're going to bring it up around the ankles. Okay, so I'm going to come to one end of my mat here so you can see me. Stand up nice and straight and tall. Torso straight, no bend in the hips, knees are straight, feet are facing straight forward, and I'm going to take side steps. So I'm going to pull against this band, keep those toes facing straight forward, pull against the band as far as you can without leaning your body. Okay, you want to try to keep the body upright. All right, and just go with whichever space you have, even if it's only 2 steps at a time, that's fine. Just cover however much ground you can. Going side to side. And with the legs straight like this, you should feel it on the sides of the glutes, maybe around the sides of the thighs a little bit. Hold those belly buttons in. Really watch yourself. It's kind of nice to have the camera here because you can see if you're making any extra movements. If you're stepping and leaning away, try to take maybe a little smaller step. Keep that torso still. Doing great. One more lap if you can. 10 more seconds. Make my way back the other way. Eat it out. Good. Okay, fantastic. We're going to keep the band there around the ankles. We're going to do the same area, the same basic movement, but we're going to come down into a little mini squat. So now I've got my hips bent back as if I'm sitting in a chair. I've got my knees bent slightly. If I look down, I should be able to see my toes, and my knees are not falling inward toward each other. My knees are staying in line with my feet. All right, keep that in mind as we step to the side, back to start position. Step to the side, back to start. Great, see if you can keep those toes facing straight forward. And see if you can keep your head the same height. Try not to go up and down as you take your steps. Head stays the same height. Good. Take a little look down. Make sure those feet are still facing forward. Great job, everyone. Good, okay. Shake it off a little bit, keep that band there around the ankles. And now we're gonna turn facing my mat. Same stance as the last one. So we're coming down into this little mini squat. Hips back, weight in the heels, knees behind the toes. And we're gonna do our monster walk. So we're gonna take a big step forward and diagonal, pulling against that band, come together. Big step forward and diagonal with the opposite leg, come together. Forward and diagonal, together, forward and diagonal, together. Good. Once you get to the end of your space, go backwards. Push back and diagonal, come together. Back and diagonal, together. Push. Good. Make sure you're keeping the weight in your heels even as you're going in this different direction. Bottom stays back. Belly button stay in. Keep a nice strong core. Good. Backwards. Good. See if you can get one more lap in. About 10 more seconds. Go back to even out. Fantastic. All right, everyone. Shake it off a bit. We've got one more with the band here, and then we'll take a little water break. I'm going to grab my foam roll again, and as long as it's out of the way of the camera. Okay. And you guys want to hold on to the chair, to the couch, whatever you're using for balance. The foam roll is here on my left side, and I'm going to stand on my right foot. So what I'm going to do is pull against this band with my left leg. I'm pulling to tap my toes of my left foot forward. I'm pulling to tap my toes to the side, and I'm pulling to tap my toes behind me. Now the goal is to keep all your weight on this right foot and really just tap this left foot around to those three areas. See if you can keep the resistance against the band so it's not sliding down your ankle. Forward, side, and back. Good. Utilize whatever you need to for balance. Pull against that band. Again, you should feel the moving leg, but definitely feel that stance leg. It's working really hard to support your body weight and not collapse inwards against the moving piece. See if we can go one more time around. Tap forward, tap side, and tap back. Great. All right, let's switch sides. So now we are standing on the left leg. Utilize whatever you need to for balance. Tap that right foot forward. Pull against the band to the side and back. Work your best on your balance this morning. I know it's extra hard when it's before 8 a.m., but you can do it. And back. Good. Forward. Go at your own pace. Back. Make sure you're keeping that nice, strong left leg, or if you're using your right, if you switch, that's okay too, just whichever foot is planted. Really think about that as your strong, strong foundation. Don't let it collapse inward. Don't let that knee collapse forward in front of your toes. Last 5 seconds here. See if you can get one more around, side, and back. Fantastic. Okay, we can finally get rid of that band. Go ahead and step on out. And let's take a little water break. Get some water, towel off. Our next part that we're going to do is a circuit. So if you've got some weights, small weights, some medium weights, keep your band close by, and then foam roll, chair if you need it for balance. All right, go ahead and gather those things if you don't have them already nearby. And if you don't have weights, you can always use some soup cans. You can use some water bottles, wine bottles, whatever you've got handy to give you a little extra resistance. Okay, go ahead and grab those things and get a water break. Extra widen. Okay, great. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna grab my medium weights here. So I'm gonna have one weight in each hand. Again, weights are great, cans, bottles, whatever you've got. I'll show you this one from the side. So what we're gonna do is stand, we'll start on one leg. So I'm gonna start on my leg that's furthest from the camera, my right leg. So just like we did with that warm up for the hamstrings, we're gonna keep a nice straight back, a straight knee, reach down with the weights. And then as you come up, we're gonna come to the top and then push those weights back behind you for a triceps extension. All right, so we'll push them back and then come down, push back, come down. All right, now, if the weights are a little bit too much or you need something to hold on to for balance with this one, go ahead and just drop one weight and you can have your foam roll nearby. So if I'm standing on my right leg, the weight's gonna be in my right hand, so I can hold on to the foam roll. I'm coming down, and I'm still doing that same triceps extension, bringing that weight behind me. So this is the way to do it, so that you can hold on to something while you do this, okay? If you can, do both at the same time, that's fantastic. All right, so what we're gonna do is go through a minute and a half of each exercise. We're gonna do 3 exercises per circuit. And with this one, since we have to switch legs, I'll let you know when we're halfway there at 45 seconds so that we can switch to the opposite leg. All right, here we go. The time starts now. Reach down, come back up, triceps extension. Reach down, push up, triceps extension. Good, remember you can do this with, if you need to hold on to something, that's completely fine. You can do it with just one weight at a time. You can do it with no weights if you don't have weights or you don't want to use weights. That's one way to take a little bit of the load off. A little extra challenge, use the weights. Good. Trying to keep that, as you're reaching down, try to keep that right leg nice and still, nice and steady. You're not going further into a squat as you reach down. That right leg stays straight. Squeeze, good. We're halfway there. We're gonna switch legs. So now I'm standing on my left leg, keeping my back straight. Keep my knees straight as I reach down, come back up, and squeeze. Reach down, come back up, squeeze. Good. Remember, if you're holding on to something for balance and you're using just one weight at a time, make sure you've got the weight on the same side as the foot that you are standing on. Very nice. Squeeze. Reach down. Squeeze. I'm just hinging from my hips. As I come down, those weights stay close to my leg. Squeeze. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Good. Okay, I'm going to move this foam roll out of the way so I have a little more space. Our next exercise, I'll show you without the weights first. We're going to do a, come a little bit forward. We're going to do a reverse lunge. So I'm going to stand on my right leg first. I'm stepping back with my left, a reverse lunge, come back up, and with the same moving leg, I'm going to come into a side lunge and back up. Reverse lunge, side lunge. Okay, 45 seconds in, I'll have you switch. You'll go back with the other leg and then to the side with the other leg. Want to make it a little bit harder? Grab those weights. Have those weights just hanging down right next to you. All right, here we go. And time starts now. Step back, push back up, step to the side, push back up. Side and back. As you're coming to the side, make sure that the hips stay backwards. Again, you don't want that knee coming forward in front of your toes. Really sit back into that heel. Backwards and sideways. Doing great. Hold those belly buttons in. One more here, each direction. Great, we're halfway there. Let's switch legs. Reverse back, come back up, side lunge. Backwards and side. Very good. I'm just letting those weights hang right down next to my leg. You don't have to move them around if you are carrying the weights. We got 10 seconds left. Very nice. Let's put those weights down if you're carrying them. Okay. And then the third and final one from this set, we'll grab our band again. And let's put that band up above the knees. Okay. So with this one, we're going to come down onto hands and knees. Now, if you have any problem with your wrist or hand, I'll show you an alternate way to do this. But we'll come down, hands and knees, here. So we got wrists in line with the shoulders. We've got knees in line with the hips. So what we're going to try with the band, kind of pulling against the band, we're going to pull with one leg out to the side and then straight up toward the ceiling. And I'm keeping a bit of a bend in my knee with each direction. Okay, any problems with the wrist or hand, you can always do this down on your elbows, side and back this way. Or if this is an uncomfortable position for you anyways, go ahead and turn on over onto your back, and this is the alternate. You can do the bridge with the straight leg and try to pull against the band, moving the leg to the side. Okay? So that's if you are having some troubles with either putting pressure on your knees or having the pressure on your hands. I'm just going to turn this way so I can see the clock. All right, here we go. Time starts now. So I'm pulling sideways and straight up toward the ceiling. So kind of like we were talking about with the bridges, if you see me moving from the hips up, I should not be moving. You shouldn't see any movement. My trunk is staying still. My head and neck are staying still. All of that is nice and stable. And the only moving piece is the leg pulling against the band. Great job, everyone. We're almost there. Good, and we'll switch legs. To the side and up. Hold those belly buttons nice and strong. To make sure that you're keeping a good upper body and shoulder stability, really push that floor away with your hands or with your elbows if you're on your elbows. Think of pushing the floor away, and that'll give you a nice, strong, stable base from the shoulder blades. Good job, side and up. We got 10 seconds left. Fantastic. Good job, everyone. Okay, let's take that band off. So we're halfway done with the first circuit. Take that band off, and then we'll go back to our first exercise. So I'm going to grab my weights again, show you from the side. This is the one when we are standing on one foot, reaching down toward the floor with that straight leg, and then we have our triceps extension. Okay? Here we go. Get a little breather. And time starts now. Reaching down, come back up, squeeze for the triceps extension. Come back down, up. Whew. Try to keep your balance better than me. Down, and up, squeeze. Make sure as you're pulling those weights back on your way up for the triceps extension, you're feeling right behind your upper arms. That's where you should feel the work, right in the triceps. Good job, everyone. And we're halfway there. Let's switch sides. Stand on the other foot. Keep the back straight. Keep the knees straight. As you come down, squeeze the glute to come back up. And triceps extension. Down, up, squeeze. Squeeze. Good job, everyone. Squeeze. Down, up, squeeze. And we got 10 seconds left. 2, 1. Good job. All right. Our next one here is the step forward. This is the reverse lunge and then the sideways lunge. It's a reminder for you. Okay. Give it a couple seconds here. And time starts now. Reverse lunge and side lunge. If you used the weights last time and it was a little too much, go ahead and drop them this time. If it was a little easy last time, you want a little extra challenge, go ahead and grab some resistance. Back and side. Great job, everyone. Keep it up. Side and back. 10 seconds. Very good. Let's switch sides. Step back with the other leg and out to the side with the other leg. Back and side. Good job. Keep breathing. We're almost there. We got 5. Very nice. Good. All right, let's drop those weights. And we'll grab our band. Go this way. Let's put that band on up above the knees. Okay, we'll come down onto hands and knees. Remember, if there's any issue with the wrist or with the hand, you can always come down onto the forearms or turn over onto your back for the bridges. All right, here we go. Time starts now. Pull against that band to the side, straight up with that heel toward the ceiling. To the side, straight up toward the ceiling. Hold those belly buttons in. Push the floor away. Make sure, especially as you're reaching up toward the ceiling, you're not arching your back. Don't let your belly button drop down toward the floor. Hold the belly button in. Hold the belly button in. Don't let it arch. Great, we're halfway there. Let's switch sides. To the side, straight up. To the side, straight up. Good job, everyone. Alternating side, straight up. Nice, strong, stable base from the shoulder blades, your mid back, and your lower back. Very nice. We're almost there. We got 10 seconds left. All right, fantastic. Good job, everyone. Go ahead and take that band off. And we're done with our first circuit. Good job. We've got one more circuit, so go ahead and take a little break, get a little breather, and we'll come back for the second and last circuit of the day. Okay. All right, everyone, here we go for our last circuit. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways to do this one. All right, I'll show you the first way. I've got my weight, and I'm just gonna hold the one weight in both hands here. So I'm gonna come down into a little mini squat, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold my squat, bring one leg out to the side, and I'm gonna kind of hop and switch to the other leg. So you can see my torso and the weight stay over the leg in contact with the ground in my squat. Okay, my trunk is not following that moving leg. If it's a little too hard with the jump, step, tap, step, tap. Okay, remember we're keeping our weight over the leg in this little mini squat position. Okay, so that's gonna be for the first 45 seconds. The second 45 seconds, we're staying in the same position, and we're just going back. Oops, give me a little more space. So back, hop if you can, keeping the weight over this front leg. And if it's too hard, you just tap, step, and tap. Okay, so a couple options to make it a little bit harder, a couple to make it a little easier. If it's too much with the weight, go ahead and put the weight down, no problem. Okay, so we'll try that out. Hold that weight, come down into your mini squat. Time starts now. You want to make it a little more challenging? You can come deeper into that squat. Remember, the weight stays, whether you're hopping or you're stepping, the weight stays over the stance foot. Good job. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. And let's go backwards. Back. Switch. Sorry, my mat is sliding away. Great job, everybody. Keep breathing. Doing wonderful. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Good. All right. Let's put that weight down. Next one. We're going to grab our band, the looped band. Okay. So, I got the band around my wrists. Catch my breath, sorry. Okay, feet are about hip width apart from each other. We're coming down into our squat, but we're gonna pull outwards against the band. So as I'm pulling, you can see my wrists are now in line with my shoulders, which are in line with my elbows. I'm coming down into my squat, and I'm reaching overhead, keeping that resistance in the band. Come down and up, okay? So you don't have to reach all the way overhead, but it's more important to keep that outward resistance against the band. Okay? And then this will be the first half. The second half, we'll do the same thing. Squat on your way up, or pulling just straight out to the side. Squat, pull outwards. Okay? All right, here we go. Get a little breather. And time starts. Now pull outward, come down into your squat, all the way up and down. Push up and down. A couple things to pay attention to as you're doing this one. You really want to try to keep those wrists in line with the elbows. Don't let the elbows come out to the side this way. Try to keep the elbows in line with the wrists. And as you reach up overhead, try not to shrug those shoulders up towards your ears. Keep those shoulders down and away from your ears. Very nice. Almost there. Good. And then we'll keep the elbows right next to your sides. Squat, pull out with the hands. Squat, pull out with the hands. Elbows stay right in next to your trunk. Just the hands are pulling outwards. Pull out and squat. Pull, squat. Good job. Good, keep those elbows in. Hold those belly buttons in. Weight in the heels. Make sure you're pushing your bottom back as you're squatting. You got 5 seconds. Fantastic, good job everyone. Take those bands off of the hands, but they're coming back on to your right above your knees. Okay, the third exercise for our last circuit here. We're coming down onto your side. You can see me here, okay. We've done this one before in the past. There are a couple different ways to do this. So first way is just to come all the way down on your side. We're keeping the heels together, keep the hips stacked, and just rotate into a clam. You're lifting up against that band. So that's one way you can just do this on each side. And then the other way, which we've done in the past, we're coming up onto the elbow and onto the side of your knee, into this side plank. So my trunk and my hips are off of the floor. Same idea, heels stay together, and then I'm doing the clamshell, lifting up and pulling against that band. Okay? So either one, whichever one you'd like to do, give it just a second. Take a breather, and go ahead and start. Come on up and clamshell. Good job. Make sure you keep those hips stacked up, right up on top of each other. You're not rotating from your spine at all. Keep those heels together. Good. And switch sides. Push up. Heels together. Hold the belly buttons in. Good. Belly buttons in. Ten seconds left. All right, great job. Okay, we're going through this one more time. We're gonna go through it a little quicker because I want to make sure we have a little time to stretch at the end. So we're going to do each one for just a minute instead of a minute and a half. All right, so here we go. We're coming down, back to the first exercise. Hold that weight, and we're going side, tap, tap. And remember, you can just step instead of hop. Keep the weight over your stance leg. Don't let that knee fall forward in front of your toes or fall inward, collapsing inward. Good job, everyone. Good, and we'll switch to back. Back, hop. Or step. Remember, you can step. Good job, everyone. Almost there. Goes a little faster when we can take a 15 seconds off. 3, 2, 1. Good job. We'll drop that weight. Let's grab our band. It goes around the wrist. All right, here we go. Squat and reach. Really try to keep those wrists in line with the elbows. Sit back into your squat. Don't let those knees fall forward over your toes or collapse inward toward each other. Good, keep that pressure out against that band. Push out, push out. Good, and elbows in, squat, pull just the hands out. Keep those elbows in, and pull. Elbows in, pull. Good, keep the weight in the heels. Keep those knees behind the toes. And belly buttons in. 3, 2, 1. Great. Take that band. Go ahead and put it up above the knees. Okay. Last one, you guys. Almost there. Lie down on your side. Line up the heels with your tailbone. Remember, you can stay all the way down into the clam or come on up into the half plank. Time starts now. Clamshell. Keep those heels together and pull against that band as you lift the knee toward the ceiling. Don't let your spine twist, whether you're up in a plank or you're down on the ground. Your spine should not be twisting back as your leg lifts up. Hold those belly buttons in. Good job. Switch sides. All right, last one. Lift up and clamshell. Good job, everyone. Hold those belly buttons in. We're almost there. 2, 1, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and take that band off. Toss that band to the side, and we'll lie down on your back. Let's bring both knees up towards your chest. Any history of knee issues, go ahead and hold on behind the thighs. Give those knees a little hug towards your chest, and we can make little circles back and forth with those knees. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Go ahead and hold on to the back of one thigh. Straighten out the other leg down onto the ground. Give that one knee a little hug towards your chest. Breathe. Take some deep breaths here. Y'all did a wonderful job today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's switch sides. Give that other knee a hug towards your chest. Be proud of yourselves. You got up nice and early. and did a full hour of work before your day started. So great job. Let's switch. Ankle over the knee. Give that knee a little pull in towards your chest. Feel a nice stretch along the side and back of your hip. Very nice. Take some deep breaths as you're stretching. Good, we'll uncross that and cross the other one over. Hold it in. Take some deep breaths. Great job. Good. All right, let's uncross. Keep holding on to that one leg and then just straighten the foot up toward the ceiling. Get a little hamstring stretch. You can get some circles for the ankle as well. Definitely did quite a lot of work for the whole leg. Make sure we're stretching all the different muscles that you've been working out. Switch. Hold on to the back of the thigh, straighten that leg up. Some circles. Good. All right. Last one, we're going to do a stretch for the hip flexors. Come on up into kneeling. We'll do one foot in front of the other. We're going to do a little tuck from the tailbone. So imagine you've got a tail. You're tucking it between your legs. Hold that tuck and just shift your weight forward as much as you need to feel some stretch in front of your hip. To get a little deeper stretch, bring that arm up and overhead. Take some deep breaths here. As you blow out, you may shift a little further forward. Get a little deeper stretch for the hip. Fantastic. Let's switch legs. Bring the other leg down. Other leg forward. Tuck that imaginary tail between your legs. Shift your weight forward. Feel that stretch in front of your back hip. And reach the arm up and over. Feel a little deeper stretch there. Very nice. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to my class. I'll be here again next Wednesday, 7 a.m. If you have any questions, I'm Juliana. My email is Juliana, Juliana, @agilept.com. So thanks again so much for coming. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great rest of the week. Thanks, guys.